Nick Rolls, what are your main responsibilities in shaping the future of darts?
Wow, there's a question. So much to do, right? I think if I go back a little bit first, when we first started looking at the WDF back in 2020, the ranking system was very low. There was no World Championships and there were no World Masters. So our first aims were those, to get the ranking system up and running, and COVID had a big interference with all of that as well, of course. Then get the World Championships and the World Masters. We've now had 3 World Championships and we've got a steady situation with that. We've had 1 World Masters and we're very hopeful that 2025 will bring us the next World Masters as well. Going forward, we would love to introduce 1, if not 2 more big tournaments in different places around the world. Where will those be? Who knows? But there's some conversations beginning to take place. So if you like, we're taking the next step of, we've got the base now, we have the solid base to work from, where do we go? So major competitions in other areas of the world would be great. I also think that we need to do some more work for our member countries as well. Our member countries are very loyal to the WDF, and I feel somewhere there's things that we can give back to the member countries, and we have to start working on those. So we started, or we will be starting in 2025, to arrange meetings that say, go on then, how do we take the next step? What are those next steps? So I guess the answer to your question was, yes, we'd love to get some more tournaments for the players, but also help the member countries. But how we do that is still, we would say, in the embryo stage. We are just starting to think about that.
How does the WDF support the emerging darts nations?
You'll know Dietmar Schumann. Dietmar is doing a lot of work for the WDF in contacting different countries from around the world. I know he's been in contact, for example, with China and lots of the countries in Africa around, do you want to be a member of the WDF, and explaining what the WDF does for darts and what we're looking to do in the future. The challenges, I think, are that even with our member countries that we have, they all do things slightly different. So when you're creating a global ranking system or a global entity for darts, you have to take into consideration all of the different things that, so for example, America will play as a part of their tournaments cricket, and they play mixed triples and then play pairs. They have about 11 tournaments over a weekend. We're here in Romania, you have the men and the women. Other countries will have the men, the women, the boys and the youth and the under 23. So they're quite challenging to work out what's the right way to go, to offer everybody the chance to do everything, but to encourage them to do as many as they can.
What initiatives are in place to help grassroots darts and youth development?
Our youth tournaments, so if I look at the World Championship in 2024, we extended the World Championships to the quarterfinals. So we had 8 boys and we had 4 girls, which was a step up from the previous year where we had 4 boys and 2 girls, which was a step up on the previous year where we didn't have a girls tournament. So moving those things forward is helping. We definitely want to extend that again. When I say whether it's the players or whether it's the number of sets or the number of legs that we play at Lakeside for the youth. But also the under 23s tournament is now part of the WDF as well. So every member country can now run under 23 tournaments. The winners from those tournaments can go to the World Masters. So we offer something for those players that are the champions of their tournaments around the world. So we're moving forward with it. You can't do everything at once. There's a lot to do, but yeah, moving forward. The WDF ranking system, I think, is the consistency that we offer to every country that's a member of the WDF. So any country can come along and apply or put in an application to hold a WDF ranked tournament, which gives all of their players the chance to be on the ranking tables, which is exciting for the player, but it also then gives them, if they're good enough, the chance to go on and play in our major tournaments. So I think there is a consistency across the world. To bring the new countries in, I think the fact that we offer the chance to run bronze tournaments gives those countries that are just coming in the chance to, shall we say, test the water, put their toe in the water and go, okay, let's try a bronze tournament. We don't need to find too much money to do this, and see where they go. Romania are a great example of how that's happened over the years. Years ago, the two Romanian tournaments were bronze tournaments, then a bronze and a silver. They're now both silver and going further. So it shows what can be done.
Do you see more WDF tournaments being televised or streamed in the future?
Love to, and I guess that goes back to the very first question. We would very much love to have a third WDF major tournament on the calendar. Whether we can achieve it in 2025, I'm not sure. I do know there are conversations taking place, but I don't know whether we'll be able to do it in 2025. We'll see. That sits with our WDF promotions team, who do a great job in trying to push darts forward.
Are there plans to increase prize money and sponsorship opportunities in WDF events to make darts a more viable career for players?
It's a really good question. If it were down to me, yes, there are plans in place. I think, again, I keep referring to Romania because we're in Romania, but you and the Romanian team know how hard it is to get those sponsors that you need to be able to push those tournaments. And even then, with the sponsors, doing it for 1 year is one thing, but sustaining it through a number of years is the hard part of it, because it's very hard work to set up a new tournament. Once you have an established base, then you can start moving things forward. And if you have a sponsor for 1 year, great. But what happens the next year if that sponsor says, hey, we can't financially back you, or they don't think it was quite for them, etc. How do you not, you don't want to go backwards once you've gone forwards. So it's a hard balancing act.
What is the WDF stance on the integration of women's and youth darts players into major events?
I think we've done a lot to help the ladies darts. We're going to do separately ladies first of all. I think the WDF have offered the ladies the chance. So prize money when we first looked at the WDF system was quite out of sync with regards to the World Championships, for example. I think if I remember correctly, the Lakeside World Champion previously could win up to 100,000, but the Ladies World Champion was only 10,000. So we've addressed that balance. So our men's champion in 2024 won 50,000, our ladies champion won 25,000. So we've addressed that imbalance, if you like. There is a challenge there for the ladies as well, because we've tried to make it that each of our WDF member countries, when they're offering prize money, need to offer the ladies a certain amount. We made it 33%. The hope was then that we would see more ladies come into the tournaments, and that didn't happen over 2 years. So therefore we've had to, if you like, lower that restriction. That I think we've now made it 20% that you have that each ranking tournament has to offer the ladies. But if we see more ladies come into the tournaments, which is what we want, then of course we can push that up. But there is an emphasis on the ladies coming to play as well. So that works two ways. Youth, we spoke about earlier. Yes, we now offer under 18 and under 23 tournaments as part of the WDF staple diet. The under 23s, it's their first year. So we have to take small steps. Who knows where that could end up in the future? And the youth, I think we've shown what we want to do with regards to the youth, with what we've done with the World Championships, introducing the girls' tournament, and then increasing the number of players we've had.
How has digitalization changed the way darts is played, officiated, and broadcasted?
Personally, I think the use of Dart Connect is just immense for darts. The fact that a player can be playing in the Romanian Open and their friends or family can be sat anywhere around the world digitally watching their game play is just incredible. And I think that has taken it to another level, where you're not waiting for someone to fly home to say, how did you get on in your tournament? You now know, and you can have that conversation with them. So it's been immense. And I think within our major tournaments, we use Dart Connect. We think it's the right thing to do for the tournaments as well. So, and again, the players then can get their details of their game online after the game, so they can see how the statistics. That's the right word. Thank you very much. Yeah. And I think for the WDF ranked tournaments, I think streaming the tournaments is fantastic. We had the gold tournament in Las Vegas last week, and they streamed a number of games, and then they streamed all of the finals. And again, what you're getting is people around the world can watch that from wherever they are. And I think It is the next step for many of the countries. Some of the countries don't do that yet, and we would encourage them to do that sort of thing. Maybe that's where the WDF may be able to offer assistance in, here's how you go about it. I don't know that there'll be financial assistance there immediately, but I do think that with the knowledge that we have in the team and the knowledge that we learn from people like Romania who are streaming their tournaments, they're the sorts of things that we can offer to other member countries to get them started, so to speak.
Do you see online darts competitions playing a bigger role in players' development and tournament structures?
Mm-hmm. It's not something the WDF have been in. I know that when there was COVID, we had the online World Cup, which I believe went quite well. Personally, I like the live tournaments. It doesn't mean to say that we can't have online tournaments. I've not been involved in those, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes over the next few months and years. We have the WDF website is populated every single week. The WDF tournaments that take place, obviously the ranking tables are hosted on the WDF website. And that's all done by ourselves. Well, I say ourselves, we have a digitised system that helps us to put the results into the system, and so therefore updates the ranking table. So as long as we have access to the results, so for example, the Romanian Open and the Romanian Classic this weekend, we will have those results first. If it's not tonight, then first thing tomorrow, those results will be into the system, and so therefore the ranking tables will be updated to show the new rankings following whoever wins this weekend. So more to do, I think, with the countries that don't offer Dart Connect at the moment, and we have to do that manually. It's harder, etc., and takes a little bit longer. But yeah, it is the way forward, of course it is.
What do you think is needed to make darts a more globally recognized sport?
This is where Dietmar's work is so invaluable, in my opinion. It's getting those member countries to want to be a part of it. And I know, for example, that the Dietmar has someone from, I think it's, it's not Somalia. I can't, he has one of the African countries. Might be one of those countries that's here this weekend to have a look, come and have a look at what tournaments do and how they run. So that's the bit that we can help more with, and Dietmar does a fantastic job on that. And it's up to us to help those member countries when they come on board as well.
Is WDF supporting young players who aspire to become professional?
I could answer that in 2 words, and that's Luke Littler. Luke Littler came through the WDF system. He played he played England Darts Organisation tournaments to start with in the youth system. He then came to WDF ranked tournaments. He won the Irish Open, which got him a gold ticket to go to play at the World Championships. He played at the World Championships, the WDF World Championships, and he played in the WDF Youth World Championships. So, or the World Masters, I should say. So, I think we have a structure there where those players can play in tournaments where they're playing. Lakeside was in front of 1,000 people to play the semi-finals and the finals this year, and we've got a young man by the name of Archie Self now who won the World Championships, and I know his father very well, so I know the contacts that he's had of winning that. So I think the platform is there. It doesn't mean we shouldn't be looking to make it bigger and better, but I do think we have a platform there that offers the youth players that opportunity.
Are there any upcoming changes in WDF rules, ranking system, competition formats?
At the moment, no. We've made the changes, so we've introduced the under-23s this year, so that's our big one for this year, and we shall see how that goes. We are looking at putting together a rules committee that look at the rules to say, okay, how do we improve it? Because you should never ever sit still. Some of the rules, you have a look at them, have a read of them. Yeah, it works. Okay, leave it alone. Actually, we could do better by doing something with this rule or whichever it may be. Come back to the bit that I said right at the very start, where different countries run their tournaments in different ways. It's very, very hard to implement a rule that's going to be seamless across all of the world. So we have to take into consideration, Romania may think, hey, we think this rule will work really well, and it would in Romania. But in Australia or America or Canada or New Zealand, that may not be the same. So we have to have that global look at the rule that anybody wants to put forward. Is it the right thing to do for the rest of the world as well?
What do you hope to personally achieve, and what legacy would you like to leave for the sport?
Wow. I think when I joined in 2020, my goal at that point was definitely, let's get the World Championships back up and running. Let's get a ranking system back up and running that the players believe in. There's always going to be people that think it could be done in a different way, accept that. But overall, is to try and make it into a situation where the majority of players, and we think we're offering players from around the world a better opportunity. So again, I'm going to say never rest on your laurels, always think you can do better. But equally, I think that's what we have achieved. Now it's to take it to the next level. So I guess from a legacy point of view, I've never really thought of that. I just try and do my best all the time to try and make it better for the players. So if, God willing, when I sort of step down or whatever happens in the future, and that's not me saying I'm going to or not going to or whatever, then it's just, have I done the best that I can, and have we moved forward from where we were when I first joined? So that's what I'd like to do.